What's up, guys? This is Carter Thomas with Coin Mastery TV. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast at coinmastery.com/iTunes. And for any Android users out there, I finally got it up, the Android link for you. So go to coinmastery.com/Android. You should be able to get that podcast on your Android device. Let me know if that doesn't work, but it should. I tested it a few times. And finally, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell to get notified. We're doing daily crypto analysis, daily crypto updates, some news. And today we're actually doing some interesting stuff where I'm going to dive into a few new, and I would even border to say hot new coins that are coming out. There is an increasing demand from you guys, both from what you've been asking for and also just the market sentiment. You know, I can tell that there is a higher demand for what's hot. You know, tell me what the next 100x ICO is going to be. Tell me what the next big coin to invest in is going to be. And while I am a macro guy, I am at heart a person that likes to give people what they want. So this show will continue to be built on macro, on strategy, on risk management, on all things that will make people wealthy if they follow it. Like, these are fundamentals of investing. However, I'm also going to start spending maybe the second half talking about potential new project, recent release projects that I'm sponsoring, and all that good stuff. People that are in the syndicate, expect an email today. That is going to be more for the group buy pre-sale token stuff. You'll get more information about that. If you're interested in joining that, go to coinmastery.com/syndicate. All you got to do is put in your first name, last name, email, and I'll get you information on that. A lot of different opportunities, but that's what we're going to do because, let's be honest, as much as we like to talk about strategy, there's a lot of opportunity, and the greater the stakes go, the higher we see Bitcoin going, the more that FOMO kicks in, and the more you don't want to miss the next big thing. I get it. I know how it goes, and I am going to help you make that happen. Cool? Okay, great. Let's kick off by diving into the usual, regular bfxdata.com, and there wasn't a whole lot of action yesterday. I think the big news was that there's a huge drop on altcoins, which went up and down. There's a variety of different things that happened, which we'll talk about. But to me, it was clear that, yes, this started to happen, but it didn't pop off. Now, the best research I've come across, and this was from a few phone calls and from a few people I know, let's scroll back yesterday when I talked about that big pump and dump. Some people said, no, it wasn't pump and dump, it was $3 billion. How do you pump and dump $3 billion? From my best info tells me that this was a coordinated effort by a handful of firms, some of which are in New York, that are trying to push this over and above 4750. Once they get above 4750, it will pop and go straight to 5,000. That's what it was. When they pushed it and they knew they weren't going to get it, they sold it off immediately to wait to recharge for the next one, which is why you saw that huge drop, and the market followed in turn. So you can call it what you want. Maybe it wasn't a pump and dump, but it was a coordinated effort, and you're going to see a lot more of that. Right. The good thing about new money coming in is that the whole market's going to get bigger, which is awesome. The downside may be that they're very, very powerful people, and they can move markets very quickly. They have the budget, they have the technology, and they will do that. But I think the good news is everyone's incentivized for it to go up, at least for now. And so we'll keep an eye on that. I don't think it's a huge deal for you guys. I think it's all just gonna, everyone wants it to go up right now, for as far as I can tell. And the pressure for it to go down hasn't kicked in fully yet, because the major buy-in emotions haven't kicked in yet. So Bitcoin side, nothing too crazy. Ethereum, on the other hand, had a terrific day. I guess, 24 hours, whatever you want to call it. Let's do a 30-minute chart where you can see it went up to, it's at 386 right now. So if anyone out there owns Ethereum, you are having a terrific day, which is always fun to see that thing go up. Let's zoom in a little bit. I think Ethereum has some good legs. We're going to talk about a few things that happened with Ethereum yesterday that may have contributed to that, as well as just their natural ties to Bitcoin and their pricing. But Ethereum goes up. Great stuff. Let's pull over Bittrex. I think OMG was probably OMG and Monaco were probably the two big names. I think that UBIQ, which we talked about on Monday, that's been taken off like a rocket ship. If you bought that when I tweeted about that, when I did that video, you're up a good, 35% right now. So good. Hope you did. And with OMG, we had a big rocket yesterday. It took off, came back a little bit, and it took off again, which we'll talk about in a second. And Monaco, which I tweeted about briefly, had a big sell-off, and then it continued. It bounced, and then it went way back down. I'll start with this one. This was mostly because it looked like there was some fake rumors being thrown around or some clarifications on Monaco's Twitter. They talked about how there's something about a Visa card being put on their website accidentally, and they took it off, and that's what potentially caused a big part of that sell-off. If you bought it right at the sell-off, you got a nice 10-15% bump or a bounce play. You could have just hit it, scalped it, good to go. And then you saw the bear trend start to kick in a little bit there. Overall, I think that what Monaco is going to become is a very good indicator of there's a lot of people that want one of these cards to kick in. So I would say next time you hear about a rumor around 10x, that is going to be a very good reason for 10x to get a lot of this money. Similarly, I think companies like Metal. I bought a bunch of Metal yesterday, actually, to be honest, right around 200,000. I don't even know where it's at right now, but I bought that. I bought it right 200, and set my sell order for whatever 220 or 240, I guess. Yeah, 240 would be 20%, and it's just going to sit there. But I think these things like Metal, I think that 10x, I think that all of these payment processing companies that are they're all waiting for something to hit. I think Monaco got a taste of that, and now they're dealing with, oh wait, actually we're not quite there yet. So I think that bodes well for these other products. So keep an eye on 10x, which is pay right here. Keep an eye on Metal. That's the one I'm really interested in. And Token Card, they had a pretty good day yesterday. They're down a little bit today, but I think that those there's something interesting, all right? And that goes back to yesterday. We're talking about the business models. They can actually make, they can make money, right? They have a real use case. They're challenging credit cards. Let's talk about OMG real quick. Yesterday, the reason why OMG took off is because they released their strategy guide, right? So June, he's the OMG founder, and they just laid out what their strategy is. There's nothing too crazy. It's not like they released some brand new platform and that they're like, hey, look, we're going to take over the world. It's just a strategy guide. But often, being able to release a strategy guide can really give investor confidence, right? That's what they call it out here. So for companies I invest in, or anyone invests in out here, you get what's called an investor update. It can be quarterly, it can be monthly, sometimes yearly, but quarterly and monthly is typically when you get it, where the founder is going to send you an email and they're going to give you an update on where they're at, what the progress looks like, how investors can help out, right? So they'll say, hey, here's where we are. here's what we could use. Do you know anybody who's a lawyer around blockchain? I mean, I don't know, whatever. And this is kind of like what that would be, right? It's almost an investor update for all of the people who own OMG tokens. This is really good to do if you want your investors to continue to support and be interested in helping you succeed. So I think that this is great. I mean, basically what it says is, here are the problems in Southeast Asia. Here are the solutions we're providing, which is everything you would imagine for a payment processing type of company, right? We need to educate people. We need to give them something to use. It can be a mobile app or maybe even a credit card. We need to move away from banks, and they lay it out in this blog post, I guess. But that's what this is all about. It is not necessarily telling anyone stuff they don't know, or it's just about investor confidence. And this is actually a really big deal in the investor world and in Silicon Valley world. Often when you put a bunch of money into a company and you don't hear from them, you just kind of, you're not going to put more money in. And if you do know that they're continuing to work and grow and update and do all that, you will see more money. So often, and I don't know this for sure, but this big surge could have easily been it could have been existing investors just doubling down more than attracting new money, right? You don't know that from looking at the market. You can't tell who the investors are, but that's often why you do this, is that, your best new investors are typically your existing investors. So that's why it happened. Look for more of this, right? That's why I think companies that are active on Medium or active on social media, Monetha, the ICO that's coming out, they're really good at this. The companies that consistently let you know what's going out typically have they can attract money from existing investors really well, which is really the best way to do it over the long term. So that's a good way to look at your investments and which ones are going to do really well. Second piece of news, or I guess kind of interim piece of news, the Russian Moscow Stock Exchange just introduced crypto. This means that you can exchange cryptocurrency for, I guess, stocks, but definitely for currency, right? So they have a qualification at 6 million rubles. I looked that up. I think it's like 102,000 US dollars, just as a point of reference. That's the qualifier that they need. But what this is doing is really just increasing the exposure to people and potentially increasing the liquidity. I mean, that's an obvious byproduct, but it's really just going to get this in front of people the same way the Fidelity thing did. Keep this in mind. There was a quote in here that maybe it's in the next article, but Russia really wants to become a global superpower of blockchain. And if you remember back to the video I did all about revolutions and how companies that feed into that idea of revolutions, and Estonia, right? They are doing that in many ways with their own government, but also with Mothership. And Russia, it seems like, is potentially using Ethereum, along with their $100 million Bitcoin mining operation that they're building, to have that same mentality. This gets really interesting when you think about it from a macro standpoint. Russia is very incentivized to find things that will give them power. And if this gives them power, they will do everything they can. Now, what it is about the allowing certain people to be able to do this. There's a lot that goes on in Russia about the political and the socioeconomic movement. That's a different conversation. But this is interesting. Russia is making a strong move. Now, similarly, and this may be probably what's fueling the Ethereum bump, is that Russia just signed a deal with Ethereum's foundation, right? With their kind of alliance. And this is an interesting, I think this is the quote I was looking for. where they said the blockchain is the new oil in Russia. Now, oil has traditionally been the number one moneymaker in Russia. That's how many people got power in Russia. Blockchain is the new oil of Russia. Think about what that means. It's money, it's power, it's control, it's global dominance, it's everything. And they are going to do everything that they can to get that. So for you, that means that Ethereum looks good, but also if you can find coins, which we'll be investigating, that can cater to these kind of revolutionary ideas with the governments or the populations or whatever. There's a lot of governments that want this to happen for them, and think what you want, but from a profit standpoint, you can ride those waves pretty well. For now, it may be Ethereum, but keep your eye open. What are they continuing to put money into and invest into? All right. Now let's get into what you guys really want to know. A couple new coins / ICOs / whatever, and we're just going to keep doing a lot more of these. I think it's just going to be helpful for you guys. Now, WCEX, I have mixed feelings on this because you see referral links for this all over the place. So if you haven't, I don't know, maybe you haven't. But WCEX is a decentralized exchange. And hang with me for a second, because there's a reason why I want to talk about this. And it's not about you going and buying these coins yet. This is obviously solving a huge problem. You guys know that I think decentralized exchanges are going to be a very, very big deal. That's why I'm buying ZRX. That's why I'm continuing to look into how the decentralized world works. On a practical level, the average person still needs to go to a site and log in and be able to trade the same way they do it on Bittrex. And being able to blend those two ideas is really important, because you have to have a product. So what these guys are doing is they're essentially taking what Bittrex is and solving all the consumer problems, and then trying to solve all the macro problems. Meaning the fees are going to go way down, the customer support is going to be way better, and I mean, I've written them emails, they get back to you in 5 minutes from a real person. The whole thing is, it just seems like it's solving a big exchange problem. So that's the good side, is that there's a huge problem. These guys see it and they're solving it really, really well. They've done a terrific job with their platform. That's the good side. The neutral thing that these guys have going for them is that they are going to, the ICO is, I think, October 1st. They are going to release a beta / alpha product that people can test before the ICO comes out. Now, I don't know, I think it's filled up. There's a link on this site when you can put yourself on the wait list, but you can go and try it before it actually goes live. And they're doing things like, if you own the coins, you get dividends of 20% of all the fees that get taken off, kind of like how Binance is set up. So they're doing a good job at making this a very compelling product and use and business model. So if nothing else, I would highly encourage everybody to go get a free account and sign up for the beta, at least the waiting list, so that you can potentially try this before the ICO. And the way you do that is you go to coinmastery.com/WCX. And if you go to that, it'll take you to a page where you can sign up for free, and then you can click on register for the beta program. This is all free. You don't have to buy any coins. And that'll get you access, hopefully, to the wait list, which will, maybe you can try this before it goes live. Now, if you want to buy these coins now, you can get a discount. I think you get, I don't know, there's different pricing tiers if you want to buy in. They have certain country restrictions, so you got to be careful about it. So you got to do your own research, right? If you're in the US, technically you can't purchase them, which means that you can't click that little box. But if you did click that little box, Who knows what would happen? I'm not encouraging that, but you guys are smart people. You know what, you can make your own decisions on that. But do what you want. At the very least, I think you should go sign up and test this out. If you go to coinmastery.com/WCX, you can go there, put your email address in, click sign up, and then go look at the white paper, check it out. So that's the neutral thing, right? Go try before you buy type of thing, which I think is very helpful. On the concerning side is this. Okay, so I'm looking at the white paper right now, and I'm going down the whole thing, right? And to me, this reads like an amazing sales letter for us, for the potential investor. And that's great. I mean, I'm sure these guys are going to be very successful. However, this little piece, which is the team, is 4 sentences. No bios, no people, no pictures. All it says is, as core, W6 is a software company powered by technology. Our team combines veterans from Silicon Valley and Wall Street, decades of experience in consumer finance products or consumer software products and financial markets trading. We hire the best of the best to create, manage, market, manage, and support our products. Well, it's funny because if you hired the best PR person, they would tell you need to put your faces on this website. So that's a little suspect. So before, this is my, I genuinely believe this. Before you buy anything, make sure that you're okay with this. I would personally want to know who these people are, right? Like, they have such an amazing product, and this, I do think that there's a market for this. But who are these people? Why should I trust them? Like, they obviously have an amazing page, but you guys know me. I believe people drive all success in business, and so when I look at this, it's not a deal breaker, but it is something that I would encourage. If W6, if you're watching this, put some freaking picture. Like, what are you doing, right? Like, this is a big deal, and I would encourage you guys to check it out. I'm going to do some research on this. Hopefully, I can get in touch with them and get this all set. In the meantime, I do think that you guys should go and sign up for this and check out the alpha or the beta or whatever that you can get access to, coinmastery.com/WCX, and let me know, right? Send me an email, carter@coinmastery.com. Let me know if you get access. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know if you think that this is going to change the world. Let me know if you think it's total BS. Did seeing all the referral links, was that off-putting or was that good marketing? I don't know. I think everybody has their own thoughts on that. Now, the second one, Blocknet. Now, a couple people have been hitting me up about this. If you haven't heard of Blocknet, go to cryptocurrency, check this out. Blocknet's been going bananas, right, the last few days. It's been one of the biggest growing coins on Bittrex, especially. That's where it's traded right now. You can always check that. So I took a little look at this. And you go to blocknet.co. Now, these guys have obviously are already in on the exchanges, but they're just recently getting that big ramp, right? So August 1st, they had a market cap of 41. Now they're at 122. It's pretty good, 300% growth in a month, which, I guess that's normal in crypto. And so I went over to the website, checked it out. And the long story short for you guys is that what this does is it connects blockchains, which is great. There is definitely a demand for that. However, I go through this website, looks cool. The idea is cool. I haven't gotten too deep into the white paper or anything, but I started to dig around for the exact same question. This is super cool. Great job, guys. Great idea. I think you're going to do well. You're obviously people like, the market likes it so far. But I typed in who is on the team of Blocknet. I mean, it's nowhere on here. Who are these people? What do they do? What have they done before? It's not at the bottom there. So I Googled it, and this is the closest thing I could find, right? It's on Reddit. Who are the members of the Blocknet team? From the FAQ sidebar, the core team is Dan Metcalf, main developer and co-founder, Arlen Kolwick, co-founder. 4 of the devs have not been announced yet. So this is a $122 million company, as according to the market cap. And this is the FAQ. I have no idea what Dan or Arlen, I have no idea what they've done in the past. The fact that I can't even find it on the site, or it's like hidden in the FAQ section, that sketches me out, right? And maybe it doesn't for you, but that to me, who are these people? I don't, you go through the blog, and even then it's kind of hard to find anything other than what they're working on, what the code looks like. Now let's contrast that with Arc Project. What's it called? The Arc Project's coin, I guess. Now you guys know I've talked about Arc many times. We talked about this on Monday. It's had a great week. This does the very similar things. It connects blockchains. Now if you scroll down, you see someone there, and look at this. The whole thing is about the people on the team. It's about the advisors. It's the people behind Arc. So they have an amazing product. They have a great white paper roadmap, everything, but there's a lot of people involved. They're very active on their social media. And this isn't just because that's my own personal, I look for people. This is because you have to do your research on the people just as much as you do your research on the product and the idea. Because the highest correlation of any investment, a startup investment, the highest indicator that it will be successful is that the current founder was successful previously in another endeavor. If you don't know who they are, if you don't know what they did before that, that's a tough investment. So you really want to you want to read through the people, you want to find out what they're doing, you want to find out what they've done. That's when you can look at a product and make a really good bet. Versus Blocknet, maybe these guys are amazing. I don't know, men and women. I don't know who they are. And that's why it's so hard. So if you're gonna buy into Blocknet, you can buy it. Maybe there's a great technical setup for a swing trade. You can make your 20% or whatever. That's one conversation. Sometimes you don't even, you can buy stuff you don't know anything about. But if you are buying this because you think it's going to be a $5 billion company, which it may be, I don't know. To me, a huge red flag is when you can't find information on the people. When you think about, if you have a winner driving the ship of your company, you would want to put them front and center. You would want them to be, hey, how you doing? I'm going to take this company to the top. You would want to show the world that. Usually, if you have people that don't shine as well as your idea or as well as your web design skills, you might not want to show that. That's just, I don't know. That's something to think about. So I'm not saying it's necessarily a good or a bad purchase. I'm not going to buy it because, I would prefer Arc over this. I think Arc has what it is, and Arc is playing the people game seemingly better than these guys are, and that's just from doing some light research on this. But that's a good way to check it out. So go take a look. Start from there. Again, go get an account on WCX. You don't need to buy any coins. Just go to coinmastery.com/WCX and see if you can get on this beta or this alpha, and let me know. I would love to hear about it. It's supposed to go live tomorrow. That's why I'm putting this out there. And if it is cool, if you like it and you are eligible to purchase it, or you don't click that box or whatever, maybe it's a good bet. I don't know. Go check it out. It could be interesting. But I'll keep reviewing these as they come in because I think it's helpful. I think it's also just what people want. Boom. Terrific. Well, I'm excited about another great day. Ubic just going through the roof. Look at this thing. Real time to 70, just dominating. That's awesome. And I'm going to keep an eye on some other things today. Probably not going to do many trades. I will say one thing I bought like $500 of this yesterday was Rise. around 3,400. This was a purely technical setup, which I'm not going to get into, but I stayed up pretty late last night doing Fibonacci retracements. I'm trying to figure this thing out, right? And not doing the whole curve thing, just going low to high and seeing if I can see some of the what are called the retracements. So I'll get into that later. But this, I don't even know what Rise does, to be perfectly honest. I just saw that this looked like a really good setup, and I saw it on one of these Fibonacci dips. And that's the only reason I bought it. It was just play money. And I set the thing to the 20%. Who knows what'll happen, but should be fun. It's always good to just, it gets real when you put some money behind it. We'll see what happens with that. So with that, I hope you guys have a great day. If you want the PDF newsletter, make sure you go to coinmastery.com/invest. Put your name and email address in. I can send you, it's a email series with a couple PDFs and spreadsheets that I think you'll find very valuable. Many people have. And go over to Twitter, Carter Thomas, say hello. I will catch you guys later. Peace.